Good day, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about dietary planning. Dietary planning principles. Diet planning principles are 6: adequacy, balance, calorie control, density of nutrients, moderation, and variety. First is adequacy. Adequacy means that the diet provides all the essential nutrients in sufficient amount to support health. Example, the body loses iron each day, so people have to replace it by taking food that contains iron. A person whose diet does not provide enough iron may develop symptoms of iron deficiency anemia. 2 is balance, the art of balancing the diet, which means enough but not too much of each type of food. Example, meat is rich in iron but poor in calcium. Conversely, milk and milk products are rich in calcium but poor in iron. Therefore, we have to use some meat for iron and some milk and milk products for calcium, and save some space for the other nutrients like grains, vegetables, and fruits, since a diet consisting of meat and milk alone would be inadequate. 3 is calorie or energy control. The key to calorie control is to select foods of high nutrient density so as to prevent weight gain and obesity. 4, density of nutrient. The more nutrients and the fewer kilocalories, the higher the nutrient density. For example, you can get 300 milligrams of calcium from either 1.5 ounces of cheddar cheese or 1 cup of non-fat milk. But the cheese contributes about twice as much food energy as the milk. The non-fat milk then is twice as calcium dense as cheddar cheese. Foods highest in nutrient density, this is first choice, while foods moderate in nutrient density, we have to limit their selection. 5 is moderation. Food rich in fat and sugar provide energy but relatively few nutrients, such as candies and colas, sometimes called empty kilocalorie foods. They deliver energy delivered from fat and sugar with little or no proteins, vitamins, or minerals. A person practicing moderation would eat such foods only on occasions and would regularly select foods low in fat and sugar. For example, the non-fat milk not only offers the same amount of calcium for less energy in comparison with cheddar cheese, but also it contains far less fat than the cheese. 6, variety. People should select foods from each of the food groups daily and vary the choices within each food group from day to day for several reasons. First, different foods within the same group contain different arrays of nutrients. For example, within fruit group, strawberries are rich in vitamin C, while cantaloupes are rich in vitamin A. Second, no food is guaranteed entirely free of substances that in excess would be harmful. The strawberries might contain trace amount of one contaminant, the cantaloupes another. By alternating fruit choices, a person will ingest very little from either contaminant. And third reason is variety or varying food selection prevents boring. Diet planning guides. We have a lot of foods of different kind in the market. We divide all the food into different groups, mainly 5 groups. 1 group for grains, 2nd group for vegetables, a 3rd group for fruits, 4th group for proteins, and a 5th group for dairy. So we divide the meal into different quantities according to the food group. So this is the first guide, food group plans, which are diet planning tools that sort food of similar origin and nutrient content into groups, and then specify that people should eat certain numbers of servings for each group, in which an adequate and a balanced diet is achieved. The food group plan assigns food into 5 groups. First group is the group which consists of bread, cereals, and other grain products. Second group, vegetables. Third, fruits. Fourth, meat, poultry, fish, and alternates. And the fifth group is of milk, cheese, and yogurt. The food guide pyramid. It's a graphic depiction of the daily food guide. The illustration was designed to depict variety, moderation, and also proportions. The relative size of each sanction represents the number of daily servings recommended. At the pyramid's bottom are bread, cereal, rice, and pasta. These should be the largest portion of diet, about 6 to 11 servings per day. While at the top of the pyramid, we have fats, oils, and sweets, which indicates caution to use them sparingly. And this is the food guide pyramid. Notice that at the base of the pyramid, there is the cereal group. The second step of the pyramid, we find vegetables and fruits. Third step, there is meat, milk, and yogurt. While the last step, at the top, we have fats, oils, and sweets. The pyramid shows a range of food servings for each food group. The lower number of servings from each group provides approximately 1,600 kilocalories per day, while the higher number of servings from each group provides approximately 2,800 kilocalories per day. The serving size is standardized by the Food and Drug Administration, which has established specific serving sizes for various foods and requires that all labels for a given product use the same serving size. For example, the serving size of all ice creams is ½ cup, and for all beverages, 8 fluid ounces. This facilitates comparison shopping. Standard serving sizes are expressed in both common household measures such as cups and metric measures such as milliliters, or to accommodate users of both types. And these are examples for the grains, fruits and vegetables, meat and beans, the dairy, and finally the fats. The recommended servings for the different energy intakes. We will notice that the food group, first food group, the bread, especially the whole grains, which is the best type of food in this group, the servings can be 6 or 9 or 11. If we select the lower figure, 6, this will give us approximately 1,600 calories, while if we take the higher number, which is 11, this can provide approximately 2,800 calories. And this is the same for each of the food groups, the vegetable, fruits, milk, and meat. Whenever you are aiming for 1,600 calories, you take the lower figure, which is for bread group 6, for vegetables the 3, for the fruits the 2, for the milk the 2 to 3, and for the meat 2 only. While if you are aiming for 2,800 calories, you will take the higher figure, 11 for the bread, 5 for the vegetables, 4 for the fruits, 2 to 3 for the milk, and 3 for meat. The estimated daily kilocalorie needs for adults varies between women and men. It varies according to age, the age group, and also according to the level of physical activity, whether the individual is active or sedentary. Standard serving sizes differs in each food group and in various foods within a group. For example, a ½ cup of cooked rice is considered as 1 serving. So 1 cup of rice is considered as 2 servings of the recommended 6 to 11 daily servings from the bread group. In the bread, cereals, and other grain products group, it is recommended to take 6 to 11 servings per day. And the foods belonging to this group, you will find that there is certain kinds which have a green circle beside them, others with a yellow and others with red. Those with a green circle beside them means that they are good. You can take them a lot without problems. Those with yellow sign, this means you take them with caution, while those in red, this should be limited very much. And whenever selecting a kind of food in each group, it's better to aim for that kind of food that gives most vitamins, most minerals. Like, for example, in this diagram, which compares the whole grain bread with enriched white bread and unenriched white bread, we will notice that the whole grain bread is providing most of the necessary essential elements like iron, niacin, and other vitamins. In the vegetable group, we will also find that certain kind of foods have a green circle, and these kinds of foods are the foods that we can take without problems. Others with a yellow sign, and this we take with caution, while those with a red sign, we should limit their selection. Same thing for fruits, which should be given 2 to 4 servings per day. Same for the meat, poultry, fish, and alternates. The milk, cheese, and yogurt, the dairy products, 2 servings per day. And the fats, alcohol, sweets, these should be used sparingly. And you will notice that all kinds in this group have got a red sign beside them. That means that we should limit their intake. This is the recommended food pyramid, and this is a disturbed food pyramid that we like to avoid. Diet planning using the daily food guide. We put the food group, the grains, vegetables, fruits, meats, and milk, and select the number of servings per day. For example, in this table, we are selecting the lower figure, which is 6 for the first group, and then we distribute them along the 3 meals, the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So we put, for example, if we are aiming for 6 servings for 1,200 kilocalories, we put 1 serving in the breakfast, 2 in the lunch, and 3 in the dinner, and the same for the other groups. Second way, or a second guide for diet planning, are the exchange lists. We categorize all food into 3 main groups: the carbohydrate group, meat and meat substitute group, and the fat group. Foods are listed according to their energy, nutrient content, rather than by their source. They are diet planning tools that organize foods by their proportions of carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. Foods on any single list can be used interchangeably. For example, cheese is from the milk source, but here it is grouped with meat, because like meat, cheese contributes energy from proteins and fat, but provides negligible amounts of carbohydrates. So in the exchange list, we classify foods into 3 groups, which are the carbohydrates, foods, and proteins, which the carbohydrates, fats, and proteins, which are the 3 classes that give energy. Exchange lists provide additional help in energy consumption control and moderation. They help ensure adequate nutrient intake and allow a considerable variety in food selection. The food labels. The dietary reference values help consumers use food label information to plan healthy diets. For labeling purposes, 2,000 kilocalories is the reference for calculating the percentage of the daily reference values. For example, the daily reference values for the total fats is 30%, saturated fats not more than 10%, carbohydrates 60%, and proteins 10%. So in the food labels, we find nutrition facts telling us the serving size and number of the servings per container. We found the amount per serving, which is the kilocalorie information, the quantities of nutrients per serving in actual amounts, plus the quantities of nutrients as percentage daily values based on 2,000 kilocalories energy intake, and the daily values reminder for selected nutrients for 2,000 and 2,500 kilocalories diet, and Also, the kilocalories per gram, a reminder that 1 gram of fat gives 9 kilocalories, 1 gram of carbohydrate gives 4 kilocalories, and 1 gram of proteins gives 4 kilocalories. And the final bit of information are the ingredients in descending order of predominance by weight. So these are the food labels and the nutrition facts that we find them on the foods in the market, and this helps us to better select foods according to the calories, according to the components. Thank you very much.